Hey guys, Hippie back again with another Deep Rock Update 34 video. This time we're going to go over some of the changes that Ghost Ship has done to the Scout. We're mainly going to focus on the M1000 Classic today. How exciting, last time we did the assault rifle. This time we're going to do something a little different, do the M1000. It got a bunch of changes. Some people on Reddit are construing it as bad. I think that they are kind of right that focus shot builds kind of suck, but I don't know. That's not apparently what Ghost Ship wants with this gun, especially not on the higher tiers of difficulty. I also would like this to be more of like a sniper occasionally, but that's just not how the gun is played by the numbers apparently. So this is just the builds they've been buffing are just hipfire builds, and I think with some of the new breakpoints that they've added in, just one or two shots now with headshots, especially, you can kill grunts. You can kill Macteras and such very, very quickly. Like killing spitters with one shot is very possible. Very possible. This gun is very good. I used to think that it was kind of like, yeah, you can use it, but you're gimping yourself. This gun is totally viable, and it's definitely a killer. Even with just the hipfire builds, you're going to be killing a lot of stuff with this build that we're going to use today, and what I've been using since the update. I saw some Redditors comment about this, and I kind of assumed it was kind of bad, or at least not as good. I think this is totally viable on Has 5. You do a lot of damage with this build. With the assault rifle, you're more consistent. You can shoot into hordes a lot easier. I feel like probably a little easier gun to use, but you can do a lot of damage with the M1000. This is a totally viable gun to use now, and I expect a lot of people are going to be using it as a hipfire build after this. And so the OC that we're going to be using with this build is minimal clips. And with that, we'll have a faster reload, which doesn't matter to us because we use the animation cancels that I have in my NG video. You guys better go watch that. I'm going to go put a little thingamajig up in one of these corners around there and somewhere. But it's there. It'll be there, in there. So watch it. But with that, you don't really care about fast reloads. If you're not using animation cancel, then this fast reload's good for you, but you better start using it. And you get an expanded magazine capacity, which takes you from, let's test that real quick, gives you +4 on your clip size. And with this build, we're going for high clip size, high damage is what we're going to try with this one. And it does a lot of damage, guys. I'm telling you, it's great. And you'd think that, oh, it does so much damage, that means you have to go damage in the first gear modification, but you don't. You can go with the expanded ammo bags, and you'll still do enough damage to instantly kill grunts and instantly kill spitters and all sorts of, and just, headshots, they're dead. 2 shots to their side, they're dead. It's really great for you guys that are, really good accuracy, or if you just want to spam into the crowd, this build's really good as well. So for the first 2, you can go expanded ammo bags, which gives you 136 ammo. I feel like that's one of the huge problems with this build, with this gun, is that ammo is too low. So yeah, while you're doing lots of damage, you're just running out of ammo super fast, and so the Scout already has problems with combat, so that is a big problem. But with the new buffs, they've actually allowed you to have a bunch of ammo. I haven't tried a hipster build out yet. Maybe it's even better because I think you get even more ammo, but you definitely want the 55 damage. I think you can run 65 and see a good little gain, but it's kind of unnecessary. With this, you'll still be killing things in like one hit. And only 10 more damage to things like Praetorians and such, it's whatever. I'd rather have the ammo, and you will after this build too. In the second tier, you can go with hardened rounds. You could go with the better weight balance if you wanted to, for the improved hit shot accuracy and stability. So if you're having trouble, maybe you're just learning this build, you can try out that. The recoil is totally fine. We're not going to do any focus builds, so no on the fast charging coils. Don't you do it. But for this, we're going to take hardened rounds, and this is just totally good. This makes you able to shoot at anything. You can shoot at Praetorians, break their armor. You can shoot at the grunt guards, break their armor. Just really valuable. So for the third tier, you've got a focus damage increase, which we're not going to do because it's not a focus build. Even though I love the focus part, and that's what I really want to do. That's not what this build is. We're going to go with the extended clip size, which puts you up to 18 shots. That's a huge amount of ammo for this gun. So you're reloading way less often, and with animation cancels, you're loading pretty quickly. I mean, this gun is getting just better and better as you go down the list. But with the fourth tier is where you get a little interesting. with the new buffs and the fact that you can kill grunts like super quickly now, blow-through rounds are a very viable choice for this gun. This allows you to be a horde shredder. It has 3 penetrations. You'll be killing things. You definitely will be able to pull off a bunch of kills. You'll be way more useful than you were before with any of the buffs with super blow-through rounds. However, you could run hollow points if you are not feeling so comfortable with hitting things sometimes, and so you want to kill things a little quicker. This is good for Magteras and such. I would think either of the options in the 4th tier are totally viable for this build. I would just say blow-through is the higher potential. It allows you to, if you're on the ground, you're a little bit more useful. In missions where, you know, you're in tunnels, this allows you to be much more useful as well. The 5th tier is where it gets kind of interesting as well with Scout now. You could run Precision Terror, which is what I'm running for my builds lately, which, you know, killing your target with a focus shot to the weak spot will send enemies fleeing in terror. So this comes in handy every now and then. I mostly would probably use this as like, you know, a runaway tactic, since, you know, with the Scout, you're just so hyper mobile that, you know, if you needed to do this real quick, you know, shoot one in front of you with a, you know, a focus shot and then get the other ones to run and then you can run. That's mainly what I'd use this for, maybe to protect your teammates or something like that. But that's probably mostly it. But the stagger one on charge shot, totally good. Totally also good. Really good for stopping Praetorians in their tracks. You can't kill the grunt guard, you know, instantly, then totally good. I mean, just gives you a stun. It gives you, I mean, CC's good. Makes it really useful if you see a menace across the board, and you charge up and you shoot it. Now it's stunned. Now your teammates can kill it. You know, all sorts of things. It's good. So either one of those options is very strong. With the lightning fast reload, I think it's kind of useless if you're using animation cancels. If you're not comfortable with using those kinds of things, hint hint, video up there, then use Killing Machine maybe if you really want to. Totally viable. Totally viable. Just don't do it. And so we'll just talk about the Scout for a little bit. I know a lot of people on Reddit and such say the Scout is the worst class. It just depends on really what you're talking about. If you're talking about doing the most DPS possible, then yes, the Scout is definitely the worst class in that respect. But not every mission requires that. Yes, you'll most likely survive missions where you have, you know, an extra gunner, an NG in place of a Scout, but you'll be going slower. You will be. And there's potential that you could run into bottlenecks where you're not quickly able to acquire any Nitra, and that can be a big problem. However, you're probably not going to run into those still. So it's totally viable to run, you know, all damage comps to screw over Scout. Scouts really are, I think, are just for speeding the game up, really. You're not meant for killing large waves, you know. You're supposed to, I mean, how I play it anyways, I'm running past my team. I'm not focusing on fighting things unless I'm just feeling frisky. I'm getting that Nitra, I'm getting, you know, the materials we need to speed this mission up. I want us to go quick. That way you're saving ammo and you're saving time. You're not getting hit by extra swarms. You know, if you're playing the Scout, especially with this M1000, but also with the assault rifle, you can use the OC that allows you to not, you know, miss or anything like that. But, you know, you're taking out spitters, you're taking out web spitters, all sorts of stuff like that. You're taking out the stuff on the wall, stuff that people are going to have to deal with. You're shooting the exploders before they get to people. You're the utility that's not going to show up on the damage boards potentially, if there were damage charts, but you'll be there. You know, you're doing all the work. You're looking for that number next to the mining. That's your big thing. You're the one that allows missions to be completed much quicker. So yes, while for a DPS related arguments, Scout is not the best. And if you were running a Has 6 mission or something like that with a mod or something, then Scouts are not useful in that context, because you're just, in those mods and those things, you're getting hit with larger hordes and stuff like that. For the game at its highest, at Has 5 and Has 5.5, which is the last stage of an EDD, and the Scout is still totally viable. And maybe certain Has 6 modded missions, Scouts are good. But in those kind of situations, you're definitely going to want an extra gunner, an extra NG in place, because those two will do the most damage and they provide the most utility to your team. The thing about the Scout is it's just the most fun, in my opinion. The movement with the Scout is just so fluid. It makes you feel like a real badass, I think, when you're using your boomstick and you're just jumping all over the place. It just has so many, like, mechanics that the other classes don't. Nobody can compare with that in this game. It just feels cool, just jumping all, just flying all over the place, shooting things as you're flying. You know, just juking things out with all sorts of stuff. Being the last man alive and just having hordes and hordes chase you just so you can save people with your cool mechanics that you have with these two things. That is what I feel is so great about the Scout. You're just the most fun class overall, and that's subjective, completely subjective, but I think that is the Scout, and that's why I have it as my second most played, and I totally would have it as my first if when I started to play this game my friends didn't like the Scout. It would be my most favorite class. Or, I mean, it kind of is my favorite class just because it's just so fun, but for me the Driller I think is my favorite to use because it's just the best for my team. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video a little bit. I know this is a little bit quicker than normal. There's not really a whole lot to talk about, you know, that I didn't cover in some of my other videos. But if we want to real quick, we can talk about grenades. I still use cryo grenade as my main grenade. IFGs are totally good. I just prefer the cryo grenade just for Macteras, for picking people up when they're dead. I just think it's, you know, it's got more utility usage. IFG's totally good in escort missions. I would say an IFG is totally fine because you're going to see giant waves coming at you in any way to increase DPS. Which is what it does because things take more damage in the field. It's totally good. But cryo grenades give you a lot of things. You know, it helps you, you know, with freezing dreadnoughts and bulks, all sorts of stuff. Totally still would use that if I was going to do anything. Once again, Born Ready, still really good on a lot of the classes. Maybe not Driller as much, but on everything else. Maybe certain, you know, gunner builds not that great. But that you know, the reason that Born Ready is good for this is so you don't have to use auto reload in the 5th tier of your boomstick build. If you don't want to run Born Ready, then I would suggest potentially run the auto reload. It helps you in situations like, you know, you're out of ammo for your boomstick, but you're stuck on a wall with your grapple. It'll reload after 5 seconds, which allows you to shoot when you fall to the ground. It's, you know, stuff like that. So that's why you want to run Born Ready, sorry. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Try to make these, you know, a little shorter. I want to try to make them 20 minutes or under. So it's just, you know, it's just gameplay video and me talking at you. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next time.